crunch, bring it back, single leg swing. Let me teach you how to wrestle. Okay. Let me teach you how to wrestle.
And welcome back to Wrestling Mindset. Today we're here with Bennett Berge, All-American. Bennett, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, no problem. I'm excited.
Awesome. Yeah, well, take it from the top. What age did you start wrestling? How did you get into the sport?
Yeah, so I have two older brothers that wrestle, and so my dad was kind of not the founder, but he started up our youth program and back home, and my older brothers wrestled, and so it was just I followed them into the wrestling room. I was probably in the wrestling room about 3 years old, and I probably didn't start competing until I was 5 or 6. I was the kid who I just kept telling my parents, no, next year I'll wrestle. No, next year I'll wrestle. And finally got out there, and I've had success at a pretty early age. There's been obviously some ups and downs, but I was lucky to grow up in a family that I had a few older brothers to look after. So made things pretty easy from my perspective.
Yes, unlike us oldest brothers who had to pave the way. Oh, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. How did your dad get you guys started? What were some of the things he had you do right away? Because I have 2 young boys, a little girl. My boys are 5 and 3, so I always think, well, what's the best way to get them started? Did you climb ropes, do gymnastics? What did he have you do to kind of work you into it?
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, I kind of just did what my brothers were doing, and so he wasn't really as much of my coach as he was Brady and Brock's coach. But yeah, we had a few of the common workouts. We had a pretty steep driveway, and it was fairly long, and so we'd run a lot of driveways. We had a little gym at our house, and that had a rope in it, so we'd climb ropes. Just things that you do it. You look back at it now, and it's like, yeah, that probably made me a little tougher. And you don't think about it at the time as that, but 15 years later, you're like, yeah, that definitely helped. But just being in the wrestling room, getting mat time, just stuff like that, it definitely does pay off.
Did you go to any clubs, or were there any coaches outside of your family that have helped, had a big influence on you?
Yeah, I started going to Pinnacle. Pinnacle, I would assume it's a pretty, you would know what that is. It's a pretty high level wrestling club in the cities area of Minneapolis, St. Paul. We lived about an hour, 15 minutes away, and so I made that drive from 6, 7 years old until I got to college, and so the drive was not fun, but you got used to it, and you did what you had to do to keep continually to get better at this sport. And so Pinnacle was awesome to me and my family. All my brothers were in it, and Brady was kind of the first generation of kids to go through, and they've done a lot.
And there's some good guys who've been through there.
Oh yeah. I mean,
right. I feel like I just spoke to was Jory Volk yesterday.
Yep,
right?
Jory was a Pinnacle kid, and we were the same grade, and so we're good friends, and we've been on a few a world team together, and he's awesome.
Yeah, he credited Pinnacle with helping him learn how to scramble a lot and a lot of play wrestling.
Yep.
Was that your experience too?
Yeah, Pinnacle, they kind of have the best of both worlds. They have Brandon Paulson. He was a Greco guy. I think he's a silver medalist, and he's the underhook guy. He's the 2-on-1 guy, and and then you got Jared Lawrence, who's he's a little more stringy, and he can hit a knee pull, he can duck, he can do those sorts of things, and so they hit kind of all different areas, and so them two together is a great combination, and they do a great job of creating relationships with their kids, and I think that goes a long ways of continuing to get better at wrestling too.
Awesome. And now talk about that, how freestyle really helped you, and obviously you've had success at that level too, wrestling for Team USA. Yeah. Talk about that a little.
It's hard because it is a different style, and some people say it's just wrestling, but they are different. Even at the beginning of this year, I wrestled freestyle last summer, and beginning of this year, I struggled to finish some of my shots just because I was used to finishing in freestyle. And so some of my shots, I would drive the kid out of bounds, and it's like, you don't get any points for that. But yeah, it's helped me tremendously, just staying on the mat all summer long, competing all summer long. I mean, I've competed on some of the biggest stages in the world. And that gets me ready to compete at a tournament like the national championships. Like I've been in stages probably bigger than this. And so, yeah, freestyle has been awesome.
Yeah. And I mean, there's different, like I said, there's different stages, but at each time, everything might seem like, that's the one thing that matters. But I mean, you were a 5-time state champ, 5 different weights I see here in your bio, from 138 to 195, heck of a span.
Yeah. Yep.
So it shows you could roll like a lightweight, but also you could, you have the strength, big guy. How can you compare the pressure that you pressure, just the overall feel from state championships, now NCAA championships, as well as the worlds? What's the same? What's the difference there?
I mean, what's the same is it's competition, right? No matter who I'm competing against, if it's, me and one other person in a gym and we're wrestling a match, like, yeah, my nerves and my jitters are probably going to get going a little bit just because I am a competitor, and that's natural. But the difference, I mean, the national tournament's the national tournament. That's, to me, that's probably the peak of wrestling in the United States. I mean, you won't find a atmosphere like that, in my opinion, in any national tournament of any sport. I mean, you're on the mat wrestling, and there's screams going on all over. And it's pretty cool to experience. But I think just having the experience of competing in all those different stages, it keeps you pretty level-headed, walking out on the mat, getting ready to wrestle. It's the same thing every time. And so, yeah.
The time is now to take your mindset to the next level with Wrestling Mindset. Make sure you go to our website, wrestlingmindset.com, and sign up for your free trial session today. Don't wait any longer. You want the mental edge right now. When you sign up for the free trial session, you're also going to get a copy of our free ebook, Building the Predator Mindset. This book has helped thousands of people build confidence, relax under pressure, get motivated, and build mental toughness in wrestling, school, and life. Make sure you sign up for your free trial session today.
How about the balancing your energy on a 3-day tournament? 'Cause it's a long time.
Yeah. I think I do a really good job of that, actually. Going into that's my first match. I don't think my nerves had anything to do with it. I mean, he's a tough kid, tough style matchup too. And, he got the best of me. And for me, it's like, hey, I went out there, I wrestled as hard as I possibly could. It wasn't an effort thing of why I lost that match. And if that's the case, I'm okay with it. And so I wasn't down about, like, obviously I want to win. Everyone wants to win, but I wasn't necessarily down about that match. And so it made it pretty easy to come back and wrestle. But man, those second and third days, your body is beat up. Mentally, I could handle it, but that last day going into that first match, it's like I got 3 hours of sleep last night. My entire body's just fried. And so really you step out there and your instincts take over. I mean, I've been doing this my whole life. And so walking out on that mat, it's just, you shake hands and your adrenaline goes and it just happens. And so, yeah, it was probably the worst my body's ever felt in my life. And so, yeah, it's just the way it goes, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. And the 3 hours of sleep doesn't help.
No.
Now, did you play other sports growing up, or was it just wrestling?
I played football until 6th, 7th grade. Well, going into 7th grade, I stopped. In Minnesota, you can wrestle varsity as a 7th grader. And so my goal was to be on the 106 pounder on the varsity team. And so that was my only chance to actually be on the same team with my brother. And so it was something I wanted to do. And for me to do that at my best ability, it was I wasn't going to play football. And so I love football. I still continue to watch football. And yeah, I mean, I watch all sports, but yeah, it sucked not playing, but I think in the long run it was worth it.
What led to your decision to go to South Dakota State? Talk about the coaching staff there and the setup.
Yeah, it's a pretty special place. It's a small town, but it's a college town. And so, I mean, it's mainly students, and that's pretty cool. The support here is, I mean, it's second to none. I think we average close to 2,000 fans this year, in a town of, I think we're 30,000 people, and you throw in students and we're 40,000. And so that I don't think that's really feasible in many places besides somewhere like South Dakota State. Coach Hahn, I mean, he called me opening day of recruiting, and we had about a 30-minute conversation. And he, I mean, I think anyone who talks to him, they'll kind of like catch a spark, and like you kind of feel his energy. And that was a easy factor of me being interested. And then, I mean, they decided to take one of my brothers, Brady, on staff. And so when they took him on staff, his wrestling knowledge is off the charts. He's got to be one of the top guys I know in wrestling knowledge. And I've worked with him in high school, and it was just like, yeah, I think I can accomplish my goals there. And so, yeah, I mean, one of my goals is to be an All-American. It's not my ultimate goal, but I can check that one off the list. But there's more to be done still. So I'm excited.
That's awesome. How is it having your brother as a coach?
It's interesting. It's been nothing but awesome. It's pretty cool because I'm probably one of maybe 2 or 3 guys in the country right now that have their brother as a college coach. I don't even know if that's that many. But it doesn't happen very often, and I'm really lucky and grateful that it has. We work really well together. Our relationship's always been really well. And so it's not like we have any issues. We wrestle together a lot, and I work with him all the time. And so yeah, his knowledge is off the charts. And so there's no one better to learn from than him. So it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, between having him, your brother who knows you and knows wrestling, and Coach Hahn, I mean, the whole staff, just awesome.
Yeah.
Coach Hahn, he was the guy. He was the guy back when I first started wrestling, or started going to the New Jersey State tournament. He was one of the guys I always looked to, and we used to say that anyone can be beat except if it says the name Hahn on the back of your shirt. Yeah. He even has a win over Kale in his life, so that's a big deal.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy to have lead our program. He does a really good job of distributing his workload with his assistants, and you kind of find your guy, and you work with them. Like we have some kids on our team that, hey, Simez is their guy, and so they do their individuals with Simez, and he teaches what is individualized to that person and not necessarily as a whole team. And so that can just lead to individuals growing quicker, I think. And so, yeah, we do a great job here. And I think that's credit to Coach Hahn.
Oh, definitely. And the whole program. Excellent. Yes. Now talk about what's your plan for the off season coming up the next few weeks, months?
Yeah. This summer, I'm actually not going to be competing. It'll be my first summer not competing in a really long time. But I want to focus on my folk style goals this summer, and getting better on the mat, getting better on top, and just a few positions that I need to grow and get more comfortable in. Also getting healthy. And so I think it's pretty common for people to be beat up after NCAA season. And so yeah, that's kind of my plan. Also maybe put a little weight on. And I wasn't necessarily big for my weight this year, so I want to make it a little tougher to make weight next year. If that's a good wording for it.
Yeah. Now is your plan after so I guess the plan to win the NCAAs, and then eventually do you want to go international, pick up freestyle again after that, or?
Yeah. I think next summer I'll probably be back on the freestyle stage. And so yeah, I love freestyle, and if the opportunity presents itself, when I am done with college to hit the Olympic circuit, then yeah, I think I'll take that, just because, you know, you only wrestle for so long. And if I retire early and I regret it, that's something I don't want to do. But yeah, right now I'm not really focused necessarily on that decision, but I'm going to compete as long as my body lets me. So
Awesome. All right, great stuff, Benny. Yeah, we'll definitely have to do it again. We'll have to keep these going. So thank you. We wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Take care. All right. Bye.